Hello again. I cannot help but notice that at one time, news in this country about internal affairs in Britain itself made mention only of British names. That is very far from being the case these days. And even if a British name is used, there is often a catch, as one might put it. I thought a couple of examples might make this clearer. The first is from the London Evening Standard and is about the fact that only 65% of children in the London borough of Enfield are being vaccinated against measles. The claim is made that this is a matter of inequality because many of the parents of those children are poor or foreign. This is obviously nonsense, of course, since the vaccination is free and all parents are encouraged to have their children protected against measles. What struck me very powerfully about this article is that it might just as easily have been published in a newspaper in Singapore or Malaya rather than England. The piece is written by Neva Yadav. It begins by quoting the Director of Public Health for Enfield, whose name is Dudu Sher Arami. Her deputy is mentioned. Her name is Krupesh Hirani. We learn too about the North Central London Integrated Care Board, a member of which is Dr. Sonali Kinra. Other members are Nalini Iyengar and Dr. Yimi Hao. As I say, this piece could have been taken from a newspaper in Southeast Asia rather than one published in London. The Daily Express last week published an article which caught my attention with a headline and subheading which reads as follows. Archaeologists decode King Arthur mystery after centuries-old document found in rubbish. The mythical king's identity has been shrouded in mystery for years, but a recent breakthrough could transform modern understanding. Now, I'm very interested in King Arthur, a quintessentially British figure, and I think that most viewers would, like me, assume that this headline had some connection with the legendary British king. In other words, reading that headline, one might think that there's going to be an article about King Arthur. Let me read from the body of the text below the headline. Archaeologists have uncovered a crucial document shedding light on an African king whose mythical status mirrored that of the legendary King Arthur. Nubian King Kashkash, whose existence has so far been documented only in oral traditions and later texts, was an actual ruler in pre-colonial Sudan. In other words, despite the headline, the article is actually about King Kashkash of the African city of Dongola. I'm not a betting man, but I would fearfully wager £1,000 that not one viewer has ever heard of King Kashkash of Dongola. The mention of King Arthur was simply to give a British-looking headline to a story about an African king whom none of us has ever heard of and about whom none of us care. In the description to this video, I give links to both these newspaper articles. It is almost as though there is an unspoken agreement among those running the mainstream media here to avoid mentioning wherever possible actual British people, alive or dead, and to focus instead on talking only about people with weird foreign names.